To date, numerous messages have been exchanged through a Pakistani intermediary, and our positions have been made very clear on both sides. Yes, as you mentioned, we will likely be hosting a delegation from Pakistan today. During the discussions in Islamabad, the Pakistani side also held talks with the U.S. They heard our words, and naturally, during this visit, there will likely be a detailed discussion of the views of both sides. The issue was seriously pursued in Islamabad and continues to be pursued. Naturally, every agreement has two sides. If any part of the agreement is violated, the other party may also reduce its commitments in proportion to the violation. Therefore, the claim that Iran has been inattentive to other fronts despite its commitments under the ceasefire agreement is absolutely incorrect. The speculations about extending the ceasefire and these discussions are not confirmed. As I mentioned, the talks are ongoing through a Pakistani mediator, and it remains to be seen how serious the other side is about its claims regarding diplomacy. It is the U.S. who must prove their seriousness because they have repeatedly not only failed to adhere to their commitments, but have fundamentally destroyed the negotiations. If you fail in a diplomatic process and want to use another tool to exert pressure, you will certainly fail again. And the third point is that, yes, this action is provocative against the principles and foundations of international law and has no legal basis. This action by the United States could be a prelude to violating the ceasefire. The Islamic Republic of Iran, our armed forces, are closely monitoring the developments there and will show the necessary reaction wherever necessary. No. Regarding how the American plan compares to Iran's proposal, the Americans expressed their views on some of the issues we had raised. In our view, those views were unreasonable and unrealistic. We very quickly presented our own opinions. This was not a new issue. They were already familiar with our positions from previous negotiations, which were mainly focused on the nuclear discussion. Russian officials have repeatedly stated that they are ready to offer any kind of assistance in advancing a diplomatic process on the Iranian nuclear issue. We have always appreciated Russia's positive view on this matter. We must wait and see where the future of the negotiations leads, and whether we can reach an understanding with the American side on the various components of an agreement. If so, it will certainly be possible to discuss how to implement its various parts, including the nuclear aspect.
مقام‌های روسی بارها اعلام کردند که آماده هر نوع کمک هستند برای پیشبرد یک روند دیپلماتیک در رابطه با موضوع هسته‌ای ایران. ما هم همیشه تقدیر کردیم از این نگاه مثبت روسیه به موضوع. باید منتظر ماند و واقعاً دید که آینده مذاکرات به کجا خواهد رسید.
The release of Iranian assets is not a privilege from our point of view. It is Iran's right that has been violated. It is like someone stealing your property and then wanting to return it to you as a favor. That is a very clear argument. This issue was one of our demands raised at the talks, but the reality is that we did not conclude, just as no conclusion was reached on the other issues either.
تضییع شده. مثل این هست که دزدی اموال شما رو بگیره بعد بخواد این رو به عنوان امتیاز به شما برگردونه. این خیلی بحث روشنی است. این بحث یکی از مطالبات ماست، در اونجا مطرح شد، ولی واقعیت این هست که ما به جمع‌بندی نهایی نرسیدیم، کما اینکه در مورد بقیه موضوعات هم جمع‌بندی صورت نگرفت. امروز بعد همون که اشاره کردید پاپ چیز بدی نگفته بود. پاپ فقط در محکومیت جنگ
The Pope did not say anything bad. He only condemned the war and called for peace and reconciliation, stating that the war imposed on Iran was unjust. Yet the Americans could not tolerate even that. The request of a high-ranking religious figure for an end to the war is very meaningful in itself. It indicates that if the international community does not react appropriately to the continuation of lawlessness and crimes, this situation will truly engulf the whole world.
مناسب نداشته باشه، این وضعیت همه دنیا رو واقعاً درگیر خودش خواهد کرد.
We will not enter negotiations to accept America's conditions. Our criterion is the interests and rights of the Iranian nation. If a negotiation is based on one side imposing conditions on the other, that is not called negotiation. It is called dictation. It is imposition. And you know that the Islamic Republic of Iran and the Iranian nation will never accept such imposition and dictation.